What is going on with the world, y'all? Let's see, what are we at today? Goddamn, 16th of November. It's the 16th of November. This is the SitRep for today. Wasn't going to do one today at all. I was just had a day at work. I just finished work. Obviously, been tracking the news today. Been slowly clicking on different news articles that I find interesting. So I thought maybe tomorrow morning I'll do a SitRep and get back to y'all for that. And then obviously these bombs or these missiles hit Poland, and it's a pretty big deal. So I thought I might jump on and chuck up what I have read, what I have seen so far, so people can kind of wrap their heads around it from what I see. I'm not obviously the font of all knowledge, but I have been reading a little bit of the news. So let's pull it apart a little bit, shall we? So earlier this morning, news came in that a small town, what was described in some sources as a farming town. I had a look on the map. I can't really tell from that, but it does look like it's a pretty small town. Got hit by some missiles. I've watched some video footage of it, and at least one of the sources that I follow geolocated that video footage. And yes, indeed, it is across the border in Poland. It's north. If you go directly north of Lviv, it's in the Polish area. So initially, obviously, there was also to go along with this, there was Russian strikes. So Russia did a whole heap of strikes against Ukraine, mainly energy type plants and things like that. So trying to cripple them there. Again, still doing what they're doing. So it looked like maybe accidentally, maybe on purpose, who knows, that this could possibly be a Russian attack that has slipped over the border into Poland. Why is that a big deal? Okay, so there's a little thing called NATO, which is an organization, a treaty organization, which many countries are signed up to. If you haven't heard of NATO, I don't know what to tell you at this point of the game. Anyway, Poland's part of NATO, as are many countries within Europe, as is the USA. Now, there's a little thing. Mum and Moose says, are they trying to get Article 5 instated? That's what I'm getting to here. Let's just, for a second, pump the brakes on this. So if you're freaking out about this, because I've got a number of messages from people about it, and I appreciate the messages, definitely. And I just want to say, hey, let's all just pump the brakes for a second, okay? There is no confirmed reports. There was no confirmed reports from the start that this was Russian in any way, shape, and form. And even from the start, one of the first people I actually contacted was one of my sources on Instagram. I said, hey, yo, are you around this? What's going on here? And I said, no confirmed reports. And they got back to me and said, yep, also no confirmed reports that it is Russian, because here's one thing that I'll say about the Russian missile attacks we've seen thus far, that they have had relative accuracy, I would say. For something to slip this far out, not impossible, but it could happen. So dubious from the beginning that this could be Russia. Also, some counter reports saying that it might be a false flag attack. Poland obviously went straight into emergency and pulled their cabinet in and said, hey, we need to vote on this. We need to talk about this right now. The instigation being here, Article 5. For those who don't know what Article 5 is, it is an agreement within NATO countries, that if any NATO country is attacked, if they are attacked on their own soil, then every other NATO country has to, not would be nice to, but is obliged to, in fact, has to act as if their country has also been attacked. So if Poland got missiles land on it, then France would have to act as though France had been attacked. The USA would have to act as if the USA had been attacked. How does this play out? Well, do you remember a little attack that happened on September the 9th? No, wait, September the 11th, sorry. September the 11th, 2001. Somebody flew some planes into the World Trade Center in New York City. That instigated a war in a country called Afghanistan, a war that I actually went and fought in myself. Now, why was I in that war? Well, Australia is not part of NATO, but many countries that were part of NATO were there because they're part of NATO, because the US said, hey, yo, Article 5, gang, you're all in on this. So here it is, Article 5, we're going to Afghanistan. Australia, we're just allied with many of those countries, but closely allied with the US. So we're like, we're going to, off we go. So right now, there's a lot of people looking at this and going, well, Poland's been hit by missiles. There's word that it was from Russian missiles because it happened at the same time that Russian missiles were also slamming into Ukraine targets. So Poland is within their rights to go pull the Article 5 card and say Russia attacked us. Now everyone is now at a state of war with Russia and it becomes official. So like I said, pump the brakes. Let's just take a breath for a second and figure out what's going on here. As soon as this information came out, Russia came out and said, was not us, absolutely was not us, which is totally expected. I expected to see that. I would have been utterly shocked if Russia was like, yeah, that was us. What are you going to do about it? Russia knows what's on the line here. They're not stupid. They know that slipping into Polish territory and attacking Polish territory will bring a swift and pretty extreme response. So predictably, Russia came out and said, wasn't us, was not us. Then a whole heap of alternative media, not a whole heap, but 2 or 3 alternative media sources started throwing up the false flag attack, saying, look what they're doing. This is the West's attempt to force World War III, to force Article 5 from NATO, dragging everyone into it, World War III. Okay, so here's what some of the latest stuff that I've read. These were Ukrainian munitions that were actually part of their missile defense system that got way off target. So this could be, and I do want to caveat that this information is coming from definitely what I know to be a pro-Russian source. Okay, so the he said, she said bullshit game that has been going on here does continue. But this is a complicated situation, and I do not have any confirmed sources. What I can say is the source that I got the video off that has the aftermath or the explosion, or not the actual explosion, but the smoke coming from the explosion of the missiles, and was geotagged to that small town in Poland. I do trust that source. So it does look at this stage. Well, it appears that my Instagram. Hey, are we back? All right, cool. Instagram just had someone call me, so it freaked out for a second there. So it does look as though that the actual attack did happen, that there was an attack. That the actual explosion did happen, not necessarily was an attack. It could be an accident. At this point, it's up in the air. I've talked to a few people. I'm saying my kind of recommendation here, like I've been saying, pump brakes. Pump brakes. It's just sorry for those that don't know. There's an expectation of a child in my life, so I'm getting messages and I'm like, is it? So if I do, disappear one day very quickly, you know what's going on. Yeah, pump brakes, relax, not necessarily relax, but just like, let's just look at this with a cautious eye for a second, not necessarily jump into it, not necessarily freak out. It's an unfolding situation. I understand that. We don't know. That's the best I can say at the moment. We don't know, but if I had to guess, if you're, gun to my head, if you're twisting my arm and saying, Gads, tell us what the fuck's going on here, my guess is it is a fuck up and there will be nothing from it. We've already seen releases from several NATO countries, including the US, who are saying that they do not believe that this is a Russian attack. So that gives me a lot of confidence that we're not jumping straight down the gullet of World War III today, gang. So relax. Go about your day. Continue doing what you're doing. I certainly didn't. I was about to chill out. I've just finished work, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna like relax. But this jumped in, number of messages from people, and I thought, you know what, I'll just jump on here. I'll do this here and now, so we can get ahead of it a little bit. But I'm going to wrap it up there. This will be a short and sweet one. I do have other stories that I've got going on. I might just save them to tomorrow. Nothing too catastrophic at this point. Just interesting stuff. But we'll pull that apart tomorrow morning. I'll do one tomorrow morning, Oz time, early, because I got stuff to do again. But apart from that, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're not too freaked out about this. As I said, I don't believe there's anything to freak out about yet. I think this will be a little flash in the pan. It is important that we keep our eye on this sort of stuff. So if you did look at it and you're like, whoa, hang on, this is a big deal, that's okay. Like, that's okay. You know, we do need to keep situationally aware of what's happening in the world at the moment, because this could have larger consequences. But at this point, cool your jets, hot shot. Relax. Go and grab yourself a beer, have a drink, or a whiskey. Light up a stogie. World's not ending yet, but just enjoy the good times while they are. Life is continuing as it has been. All right. So keep a smile on your face today. Keep chins up, gang. Keep prepping and keep your eyes open. And until tomorrow morning, unless some sort of catastrophic end of the world activity happens between now and then, I will see you all then. So until then, Semper Paratus.